Hello friends, welcome back to my channel on Feril Smartworld, and this is Feril and you're watching me on Feril Smartworld playlist. I'm so excited today because I'm with my daughter Dhia.
Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about relationships. You might think that I'm too young to be talking about relationships, but in reality I'm here to shed a new perspective on relationships. We'll be seeing the millennial perspective and then the Gen Z perspective.
So today we would be asking each other questions about relationships and getting to know each other's perspective. So let's get started. Okay, so my first question to Dhia is, what is friendship and what do you expect from a friendship?
That's a great question. What a friendship is to me is just two people hanging out with each other. And what I expect in a friendship is for there to be like a lot of love and for you to actually want like the best for me. In a friendship, I expect the two people to want the best for each other. It's not like a competition or like a fight. It's more of like mutual understanding.
Person should know each other better and should have more like a bond.
Exactly.
Where they can share things.
Okay, so mom, what are your biggest red flags in a relationship?
My biggest red flags. Okay. So I had this friend of mine, let's call her Donna. And this friend of mine, she used to always call me up and she would always talk to me whenever she was free. She wanted her time, that I gave my time to her and I talked to her. And she would always gossip about the other person, that what has happened to her throughout the day. She would gossip about the other person. After I hung up her call, I always used to feel, what about if she is gossiping about me to the other people? And this literally drained my energy, because her conversation were in my mind and I used to feel okay, she is in so much of problem and I should help her out. And later I found out that she was manipulating me, and you should be aware of this kind of people because it's a big red flag. The person who always wants your time, but when you ask for their time, they would politely, or they would say aggressively or passively, they would say no, and they wouldn't be there for you. So I feel that manipulators are the one people you have to be aware of.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Manipulators are the worst.
So Dhia, you have many school friends. So how would you trust your friend? Are there any parameters to trust them?
For me, trusting is about judgment. If your friends are gonna show you judge you for the decisions that you're making, then you don't really want to have them around. For me, the people I keep closest to me and trust the most are people who don't judge me. Yes, they still understand that my decision making are not always perfect, but they don't show judgment. They politely help me to change my decisions. And also, I trust them, so they don't share things that I share with them in confidence. They don't share those things with other people. The secrets that we have, we keep those secrets.
That is why it's called snitches goes into ditches. So if they don't snitch, you can trust them.
Exactly. Mom, what are your thoughts on love marriages and arranged marriages? In India, love marriages and arranged marriages are very, very common, and they're the two different types of marriages. So what are your thoughts?
So let me just first explain to you what is an arranged marriage. An arranged marriage is a marriage where family picks up a boy. Suppose if I want to get married, a family would choose a boy for me. They would have a meeting prior and they would arrange a meeting, and then they would allow the girl and a boy to meet, to have a conversation. This may not take very long, maybe 1 or 2 meetings, and then it is decided whether a girl or a boy goes along, and then if they say yes, they get married. This is arranged marriage. And love marriage, as we all know, love marriage is where a boy and a girl chooses their partner for themselves. They go to their parents, they ask that whether we can get married. Parents say yes, and it's a love marriage. So now what are my views on arranged marriage and love marriage? So let me tell you, mine was an arranged marriage and I'm happily married for 17 years and I feel happy because also for a reason that if I have a problem with my husband, I know that there is a family who would back me up. So this is one big positive thing for arranged marriage. Whereas in a love marriage, if you're in any kind of problem, and if you go to your parents and if you say that okay, my husband is this and that, the parents would say that okay, you have chosen your partner by yourself, so you solve your problem by yourself. So this is the biggest difference I find in arranged marriage and love marriage. Whereas contradictory love marriage, I can see the partners are more flexible, they are more open, they have their point of views to each other, they are very expressive. Whereas in arranged marriage, it takes time because you are new, you don't know how the other person would feel. It's always like trial and error for you for every day. Even when weeks have passed, the months have passed, you feel that you don't know person that much. Is the biggest drawback for an arranged marriage. Whereas in love marriage, you know the person, you gel up with that person, and you know what is exactly expected of you, and you can say your wants and demands easily. In arranged marriage, it is not. One thing I want to mention is that in India, most of the families have arranged marriage, majority, and that is why India is one country which has least rate of divorce compared to the other countries. I am not saying the divorce aren't happening, but it is least in the percentage with compared to the other countries, because for the reason that the families are involved. So if there is any problem, families can come up and they can solve the problem.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. India does have the lowest divorce rate in, I think, in the whole world, and that is mainly because of arranged marriages. If you trust your parents' decision-making skills for you, then yeah, arranged marriages can be wonderful things.
So Dia, tell me that what are your thoughts about PDA, that is public display affection?
Yes, so public display of affection, as you know, in Ethiopia is actually illegal, which might surprise a lot of you because if you look at like media and what specifically I consume is a lot of like Western media where PDA is completely normalized, but here living in Ethiopia it's not. And in India, it's also very much of like a taboo. People don't do it. So I think public display of affection is not a horrible thing, but you have to understand the situation and the culture that you're from and accept the background, and what's okay for you might not be okay for the people around you.
But what about if you hold someone's hand? Is that okay? Is that called public display of affection, right?
Yes, so there's like different levels of public display of affection. Obviously, I think holding hands and doing things like that are not that bad compared to like if you say like kissing and other things. But again, you have to be respectful to the people around you and the culture that you're in. Especially if you're a foreigner living in like a foreign country, you have to be extremely careful of what you're doing.
Right.
Okay, mom. So, what is one quality that you have to see in your friends to be able to be friends with them?
One quality, I would always expect my friend to respect me. This is the biggest thing I want from everyone and I want for myself. It happened to me once in a situation where we were in a party together, and a so-called friend, now she is no more my friend, now I call her my acquaintance, but she was a friend for me once. She came to me, she had some grudges for me, she came to me and she insulted me in front of others, which is not appreciated, which I don't like it. So respect is one thing that is very much important in friendship. Then comes trust. You should be able to trust the person should be able to trust you. If there is no trust, there is no friendship.
You sound like that man.
So Dia, since you're in high school, what qualities have you developed to be a good friend to others?
So, I think one of the biggest qualities that I've developed is that to understand other people's beliefs and to respect them. Going to the school that I do, I'm surrounded by a lot of different cultures all the time. Indian cultures, Ethiopian cultures, and even some American cultures. And I have to respect those people and what they believe in, but I also have to find my own opinions and stand firm in believing them, which is a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to be friends with somebody who does not believe the same things as you do. but I manage and I make sure that I'm still respectful of that person. I'm just reading the question off of my phone. Okay, so mom, do you feel the impact of beauty standards in your relationship?
This is a good one. Yes, I had made a previous video on colorism, which is somehow related to this, because whenever you are in a friendship or in a relationship or whatever, you know, your facial features, your expressions, how you look does matter. Though a person may say that, okay, for me, the heart matters, for me, the brain matters, for me, how a person look doesn't matter, but in a way it does. The first thing that we look at is the other person's face. That is the first way for our brain to say whether you're accepting that person as a friend or no. That is the first thing that our mind allows us to do. And in relationship, in friendship, after you have met a person, if that thing is clicked, is ticked, okay, a person is good, you can be friends with. Because you know what happens, a person can be only friend with a person whom you can match. If you don't match with the person, be it in looks or be it in height or whatever, your mind would reject it instantly. And so beauty standard does matter in a relationship or a friendship.
A follow up to that, do you think pretty privilege exists?
It does. I read one article long time back where it said that there was a prisoner, there was a girl who committed a crime and she was good looking. And because she was good looking, she had a pleasing personality. The judge who actually gave her the verdict of her crime, though she had committed crime, but she was giving a leverage of the punishment to some extent because of her good looks. So it does matter. So Dhia, what do you think? Does the beauty standard has a leverage on the relationship or a friendship?
I think like me being in high school, it definitely does. These are like the prime years and you're figuring out like who you want to be, and it's also when your like looks mature and your like facial features and stuff like that matures as well. So yes, I do feel like there's like judgment all the time. People judging me for the way I look, for the way I dress, for the way I present myself, the confidence I show other people. Yeah, and I do think that societal beauty standards do play a huge role in like the way people judge me. Obviously, I'm one of the people that's very like skinny and I'm very tall, which makes me by like society standards or people say more appealing to look at. But yeah, I do understand that.
This is going so good. I hope you're enjoying. So now moving forward to our further question. Dia, have you ever been in contact with a toxic person? Do you know what toxic relationship is? If yes, what are the traits of the toxic people and how have you dealt with it?
Yeah, so for me, I've been in like a couple toxic friendships. I think the characteristics of the toxic friendships are different for everybody. But in the modern world, toxic friendships don't really see the toxic characteristics. It's more hidden. It's like small passive aggressive jabs or small things that make you feel like you're worthless, that like nobody should be friends with you. And those things kind of like keep going and going until like you feel like you have no self-worth, until they break you down completely. And it's, I think toxic people are stemmed from like you not feeling fulfilled in yourself, so you have to go and hurt other people. Like there's this common saying, hurt people, and I think that that's very true. So to watch out for like toxic people, you should be looking at the characteristics that they're showing and make sure that the people around you really want what's best for you. What about you, mom? Have you been in any like toxic relationships?
So yes, I had a friendship. Until then, I did not know that it was a toxic friendship, but this friendship which I had was draining my energy. I always self-blame myself, and I always felt that why should I stoop down to the person's level and I always felt that no, whatever the other person is doing wrong, karma will give it back to the person. But somewhere I was wrong, because if you don't tell the other person that you are doing wrong, the person won't realize. And however good you are, because good people are affected more. So toxic people or people who are not good for you would take advantage of this. So I was in a situation where this toxic person, let's call her Bella. So this person, Bella, she would belittle about me, she would criticize me, she would not tell me what the problem is, but she would go to the other person, other friend, and she would talk bad about me. And eventually when I got to know that all this thing has come out from Bella's mouth, it made me hurt. I felt very bad. So toxic relationships are bad for you, for your physical well-being, for your mental well-being. You should be aware, you should be away from that person if it's possible. If not, you should replenish yourself. You should go for a walk, do meditation, blast your loud music, and not be with the person who is draining out your energy. So this was my experience about the toxic relationship that I had, and how did I come out of it.
So if you want to know more about toxic relationships, we will make a video for you guys about all the different types of toxic people that there are.
And it would be a good educational video for you, and I hope you have liked this content. And if you have, then don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. The subscribe button is just right below, so please press it and pass this video to your friends, because this video is very informative. And signing off for now, love from both of us.
Bye guys!